The courtroom was silent when the verdict came in. Cameras clicked, hearts pounded, and for the first time in history, a former U.S. president was found liable for sexual abuse and defamation. Donald Trump sat firm, his face unreadable, while Jean Carroll smiled softly, not in victory, but in relief. It had taken her more than 2 decades to reach this moment. A moment that wasn't just about justice, it was about truth. Jean Carroll, once a well-known advice columnist for Elle magazine, had accused Trump of assaulting her in a department store dressing room back in the mid-1990s. For years, she kept the story buried deep, fearing no one would believe her. But when the #MeToo movement swept across America, giving voice to countless women, Carroll finally decided to speak her truth. When she shared her story in 2019, Trump immediately denied it, calling her a liar, saying she wasn't his type, and accusing her of trying to sell a book. His words weren't just dismissive, they were brutal. Carroll said those comments shattered her reputation and caused her emotional pain that no woman should ever endure. That's when she decided to fight back, not just for herself, but for every woman who had ever been silenced by power. The legal battle that followed was historic. A woman in her 70s, facing off against one of the most powerful men in the world, a billionaire, a former president, and a man who had always been used to winning. But this time, the courtroom wasn't Trump's stage. It was hers. Throughout the trial, Trump refused to show remorse. He skipped testimony, attacked Carroll on social media, and called the case a political witch hunt. But the evidence and testimonies told another story, a story of trauma, courage, and a long fight for justice. When the jury returned their decision in 2023, the world watched. They found Donald Trump liable for sexual abuse and defamation, ordering him to pay millions of dollars in damages. For Carroll, it wasn't about the money. It was about finally being believed. "This is a victory for every woman who has suffered because she wasn't believed," she said after the verdict, her voice steady but emotional. The case didn't end there. Trump continued to attack her publicly, leading to a second defamation trial in 2024, and once again, Carroll won. The courts reinforced that words have consequences, no matter how powerful you are. This story became more than a courtroom drama. It became a symbol, a clash between power and truth, between silence and voice. Jean Carroll stood against one of the most controversial figures in American history and proved that even the strongest can be held accountable. And for millions watching, it was a reminder that courage doesn't come from fame or force, it comes from the simple act of standing up and saying, "This happened to me." In a world where truth is often buried under politics and pride, Jean Carroll's story stood tall, and for Donald Trump.
Whose inspiring story of politician would you like to hear next? Tell us in the comments below.